Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dad Games Badly. We're back here today with more NHL 23 and our Portland Wolves 2 Ways to Win Draft to Glory series. We're into the 35-36 season of our 25 season run. 13th season, I guess. So 12 more after this. Basically, what's been going on? We made the playoffs last season. We did not repeat our Cinderella story in our first ever playoffs where we won the cup, but we did make it to the second round before getting stomped. And really just moving on into the next season. There wasn't a lot that I needed to do. I didn't need to worry about coaches or scouts. We are going to be running this line this year. Danny Bradley, Appel, Chung, Severson, Jennings, and Tverdovsky, Chris McGinn, the Italian, Quinn Parker, Scott Schwartz, Lolo, and Victor Spruev. Spruev is not ours, and I don't believe McGinn... Oh, McGinn is ours. Is Tverdovsky? Yep. And Scotty Schwartz. So everybody here but Spruev is ours. I didn't really have anybody I wanted to bring up other than him. Defensively, Harding, Esch, Chucko, McCann, Curry, Stanton. Same as last year. No big changes. Would like to see some growth. Well, Stanton's first season. I'd like to see some more growth out of Curry. He's still young enough. I might actually do this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do that. And net, we are rocking Peyton Roach, Damian Chamara. And in the AHL, of course, Hilbert, Livingston, Talbot, Puistonen, Silverberg, Nestorov, Kennedy, Soderstrom, McCormick, Sergeyev, Haskins, and Squeen. Squeen kind of never became anything, which is not surprising. He's a decent AHL player, but he's definitely was never going to become anything. Haselius, Hanula, Hernandez, Niemanen, Tolson, and Baldwin. And in net down here, we've got Seranaimo, Dag. Dag is still with us. I think he's only got a season left, or he's got 4 seasons left at 2 mil. And then Scratched, Jacobs, and Silverguard. I don't believe they're both ours, but they're both low 6s, so I'm not really too concerned about their development. I do believe they still have us considered a buyer. I would like to see where we stand overall. Obviously, Danny Bradley, still the best player in the league. 84, 86, 83. So, pretty solid team. Definitely a bubble team, though. Definitely wild card spot, I think, if we're going to do anything. So, let's go ahead and get into the season. Just going to do what we do. We're going to go to January 1st. We'll take a look at stats, lines, see if we need to make any changes. Starting off the season not well. 2 losses in a row before finally beating Calgary and having 3 wins in a row. 3-3, 3-4 on the season. We win another one. Win one, lose one. Is that the kind of season it's going to be? Win one, lose one? Sure looks like it. Big trade in the NHL recently. Bo Horvat getting traded to the New York Islanders for Atu Ratu, Anthony Beauvillier, and a top 12 protected first-round pick this year. I mean, obviously, if you're top 12, you're going to want to be in that lottery. Those are the best odds that you're going to get. And if you can get your hands on someone like Connor Bedard, and honestly, this draft is pretty solid, pretty deep. Adam Fantilli. But honestly, definitely feel like the Islanders won that trade. A top 12 protected pick. I don't even know who's in the draft next year. So, finally have a winning record, though. 15, 12, and 1. I say that as we lose 3 games in a row. And then go back to winning 2, losing 1 against Boston. We are outside of a playoff spot at this time. And after, winning 6 in a row, Is it enough to put us into a wildcard spot? It is. It is. It is. Everything looks pretty close in the Central. They're still pretty weak. So, yeah, honestly, if we can keep this up and they still are as weak as they are, then we're not going to have any issues making the playoffs. Looks like Danny Bradley has 43 points. You love to see it. Appel has 28. Chung has 35. Tverdovsky has 19. 14 for Jennings. And Severson is fine. 35 points. Sorry. 33 points. McGinn has 14. Italian has 16. Quinn Parker has 12. Spruev has 1. Lowe has 6 or 7. And 5 for Schwartzy. I think Lola has... Nah, we'll just leave it. Not going to make any changes there. Defensively, I mean, just that in of itself is fantastic to see. Like, not a single player. Plus plays 25, 25, 20, 21, 13. Yeah. I mean, that's actually pretty decent. Can't be too upset by that. And how are we doing here? Pat Roach, or Peyton Roach, is having a fantastic... Pat Roach, what is this, Trailer Park Boys? Goodness me. Yeah, that's, I mean, it's his best season that he's ever had with us thus far. 2 shutouts at this time. Yeah, for the 25-year-old. Love to see it. Damian Chamara is doing quite well. Well, did you play last year, Damian? You did not. Kind of like your first season in Alaska. That's okay. That's okay. How are we doing down here? Seranaimo, Dag are doing just fine. Even strength. Cyrus Hilbert's not ours, so I'm not really interested in bringing him up. I'm not too upset with what's going on down here. Same thing. Can I raise you up so I can walk on mountains? We're going to do that. We're going to give those guys a little bit more leeway because they're younger and they actually have some potential. Hopefully they do a little bit more growing. We will go ahead and get into this. You know, I'm not too upset with where we're at right now. It is even possible we are not a wildcard team and we're right into the thick of things. I mean, I doubt it, but it's possible. All right. Bum, 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 bum. When is the trade deadline this year? I should figure that out because stuff's happening. Trade deadline NHL 23. March 3rd. So a little over a month before the trade deadline. We've got the All-Star break this weekend. And then it'll go on to be in somewhat decent. Are we the top of our division right now? Okay, 35, 18, and 2. We are off to a rough start. We're off to a rough start in the first 2 months. 6, 6, and 1. I think after 2 months, or pretty close to that month and a half. And we just keep going. Definitely a buyer. If that's the case, we're going to continue simming because we don't make any trades anyway. 40, 20, and 3. Good for 83 points. We are the second best team in the West under the Blackhawks. Okay, so the Blackhawks have 95 points. Number 2, Predators have 69 points. That is insane. And then the top in the Atlantic is 78 points with the Sabres. And the Blue Jackets have 73. Wow, the East is just garbage this year. Or it's very, like, even. I mean, 20 points between the top 8 and 15 points between top 8. Yeah, that's pretty massive. Because it's 45 in the Central and 13. That's wild. 80 points for Danny Bradley in 63 games. Man is just going off this year. Appel has 53. Ernesto Chung has 63. Tverdovsky has started to pick it up with 39. Jennings has 38. And 58 for Severson. So we really don't... He is a second-line player, but maybe it's just we're not giving him a better winger on this side. Like Jennings is 26. Pretty solid playmaker, in all honesty, right? And you can see that. Tverdovsky, again, solid playmaker. So you're basically making Severson be the shooting guy, it looks like. Yeah, on that line. All right. McGinn, 18 points, 14 or 24 for the Italian, 30 for Quinn Parker, 6 for Spruev, 12 for Lowe, and 10 for Schwartz. So not too bad, honestly. Like, we're actually getting depth scoring now. Harding is having a fantastic year, so is Esch, Curry, Chucko, McCann. McCann's has 15 points, but is a -3, and Stanton has 10. Interesting. Curry's already gone up 2 overall this year. And Peyton Roach and Chimera have just both been fantastic. Chimera's barely played games, though. He's played 12 games and won half of them. Peyton Roach has 6 shutouts already. His highest in the AHL was 7. Okay, not liking that. Even strength. Ricky McCormick. Dude is just going off with 37 points in 63 games and 12 minutes of ice time. Yeah, Nesterov is really the only person I'm looking at as next year possibly coming up to the NHL. Can't skate, though. Like, he can, but not great. Defensively... Only person really having a hard time is Kari. But everybody's doing quite well, so not too upset. They are top of their division, as are we. So both teams are doing quite well this year. Really only a couple teams I'm worried about for the future. So let's go and finish off the season. We'll head into this. Calgary, 4 wins in a row before losing 2, 3, 4. Blackhawks with 107 points. We definitely need to start winning more games if we're going to catch up to the Kings at this point. We got to win out. Come on. Buffalo we can beat. And we no. 103 points. Got one more game. One more day. Advance a day. Yeah, Golden Knights beat us, so we end up dropping to 3rd. 118 for Chicago. We're the 4th best team in the league this year. Went from being a second drop in... Or yeah, we're the last team in the West to make the playoffs last year. And now we're the 4th best team in the league. Wow. All right, let's go and kind of take a look at how everything shakes out. We already know where we stand, but 50, 29, and 3, our best season to date, folks. Chicago wins the President's Trophy. LA, Vegas, Portland, Anaheim, Toronto being the first team in the East to actually have something. Top 6. Seattle, Columbus, Buffalo. San Jose doesn't make it at 10th best team in the league. I mean, to be fair, all the good teams were like, if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god. 7, 8. So both Vancouver, Calgary, and San Jose get screwed. Wow. Should just be the best teams in the division, in the conference, man. Top 8, doesn't matter. And if nobody gets it, then nobody gets it. Like, these teams are garbage. But I guess then we wouldn't have got the playoffs when we got the playoffs. So, worst team in the league would be Edmonton. Looks like they're en route to get another first-round pick. No clue if Connor McDavid is still there. Danny Bradley, Chung, and Severson. I would like these two to get a little bit more. Severson playing second-line minutes, though, is fine. That's exactly where we wanted him. Esch with 54. We'll go forwards here. Jennings with 46. Tverdovsky with 45. So close to that 50 mark. Can't really be too upset by that. Quinn Parker with 39, the Italian with 31, and McGinn with 25. Would have liked to see McGinn with about 5 more points. Everybody else is kind of where I want them. Schwartz, and Lowe, and Spruev, all pretty close to the, well, in between the 15 and 20 mark. Can't be too upset. So, starting to get the depth scoring that we've been looking for. That may help us in this playoffs. This is what's really going to help us here. And the fact that we have a goaltender that did that this year. 8 shutouts. 43, 22, and 2. With 8 shutouts. My man, Peyton Roach, at 25, is taking us to the playoffs. Alright, well, not much that we can do. Let's see who we're going to be up against. It does look like it is going to be Vegas, though. As it is. We know Vegas from last year's playoffs. Let's take a quick look at their lines. Makinen, Dubois, Mauricio Little, former first-round pick from a couple years ago. He had an 47 points. He had an R8 season. Marchenko, Simino, Matt Cohen, Vasiliev, Dylan Cousins, Hellenis, Hornquist, Talinder, and Dominic Dillon. On defense, Kiviharju, Webb, Cunningham, Heiskanen, Rycroft, and Pasternak. Obviously, our defensive core is better. Like, we have a 90, 86, 83, 79, 77, 77. And in net, Stepan and Marshall Wen. Pretty solid, pretty solid. We will wait until the next episode to see how they look. But we are going to end things here, folks, and get into the playoffs in our next episode. Until next time, much love, fam. Bye-bye.